Why is the wow factor so important is what we're talking about today, the ECentra Business Show. I'm joined by JD from the Institute of Wow. Thanks for continuing this conversation, JD.
My pleasure, John, and thank you for inviting me back.
Yeah, that's all right. And we've got completely different... No, we've got exactly...
Yeah, exactly. So it means that I've only got one coat. And you've only got one coat.
But seriously, the one suit wonder I am.
I think they might work out that we're recording this at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. You've got our secret, it's true.
Damn it.
Anyway, the wow factor. Why is it so important, JD?
Why is it so important is because I'm going to give you an Exhibit A here. Most people, when they write a book, will put it into the online bookstores like Amazon, or they'll go out through the whatever it is, Angus and Robertson. This is what happens when I write a book. I decided that it would have some wow factor to it, and it sort of gets attention. And so therefore I've put into this particular book here, if I can just hold it up to the camera, and maybe the camera will get part of it, but it's about the last 15 years of my career with all of the ideas that worked, all the marketing ideas that worked, and it's a pretty valuable book. And so therefore I get attention when I actually show that to anyone, because it is a little bit bigger than one of my other books, which is a normal size, okay? Yeah. And the reason I'm showing off and boasting about that, John, is because that's what it's all about. When I hold this up, the big book, people just go, well, first of all, what a wanker.
Once they get over that.
Yeah, once they get over, oh, what a wanker, they go, hang on, he's got a point there. That book does stand out from all the others. And the whole wow factor thing is about creating a gosh factor or wow factor, a unique selling proposition that actually makes you stand out from your competitors and takes their eyes off, guess what? The price. You don't want people buying on price.
Sure, that's it. Well, that's even one thing, the ECentra Business Show, which is now 8 months old. It's and a field of digital marketers, a lot of young people, a lot of people have been in the business, but not a lot of people doing the ECentra Business Show. So welcome to the party.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
But okay, so what are the sorts of things we see in the day-to-day where wow factor is there around us and we're oblivious to it? Is there in Coca-Cola?
Well, look, I've got it, because it's the industry that I'm in, creating wow factors for businesses. I'll throw a couple of examples at you. My wife and myself, we have 6 children, and they're all adults these days. But at one stage, we had 6 screaming kids in the back of the Tarago under 12. So you can imagine 6 kids under 12 in a Tarago. And whenever we saw the golden arches, we would, get 6 Happy Meals for the kids. And it had nothing at all to do with a Happy Meal. I couldn't tell you what a Happy Meal cost, because McDonald's were clever enough to take our eyes off the price onto the free Disney toy. The kids would throw the hamburgers out. They'd never eat the hamburger. And any parents or grandparents watching this, you know what I'm saying. And so McDonald's...
So that's actually a good thing, I think.
It's probably a good thing in the McDonald's thing, yeah. So therefore, the thing is, McDonald's were clever enough to take our eyes off the price onto the wow factor, which was the Happy Meal toy. And I often say to people, hairdresser, for example, if a hairdresser put a 10% off sign outside her door, I don't think anyone would go busting the door down in the world that we live in with Groupon 50%.
Yes.
So I say to them, well, just transfer that 10% into creating a wow factor. And the hairdressing people will say, well, how do you do that? Well, for every $50 that Mrs. Smith spends on getting her hair done, she gets a movie point, a cinema, theatre movie point. And when she saves up 6 movie points, which means she spent 6 times $50, that's $300, then you give her 2 $15 tickets to the movies. 2 $15 tickets to the movies, $30. $30 as a percentage of the $300 that they spent, 10%. Which one of those 2 promotions will get more traction? I can guarantee you the movie tickets.
Yeah, so what do you think about the current thing we see in the retail market, particularly in clothing and that sort of thing? Sale, everything's constantly on sale. What do you think about that?
They're nuts, and as Fatty Vorton says on the Footy Show, they should give themselves an uppercut. And the reason is because if you market on price, then be prepared to take the race to the bottom. So if I was a hardware store and I had a wheelbarrow and I was marketing that for $100, do you think Bunnings down the road are going to let me win? Not a chance. The big box store is going to beat me every time, and they'll drop the wheelbarrow to $90. And then I'll drop to $80, they'll drop to $70. Who's going to win? Of course, the big guy.
So and that's without Amazon even really gets started.
That's without Amazon. Of course, they're here now, so therefore it's even worse. But if that wheelbarrow doesn't light up in the dark, then that guy's got a problem, because he's got the same wheelbarrow for more money. So what he needs to do is say, hang on, wow factor for my hardware store. I know for every wheelbarrow that you buy from me, you get a free shovel, okay? Because Bunnings will never be quick enough to combat that. They can't give away a free shovel. You can imagine the accountant at the head office going, I beg your pardon? So when you have a big 40-ton gorilla like Bunnings who says that we'll beat any price in town, they say that, well, you bring it to us, we'll beat it by 10%. You can't take them on price. You've got to take them on a wow factor, a Happy Meal toy.
Yeah, no, I see that. And there's this disruptive world we live in with the likes of Amazons and the Googles and all the rest of the things happening on. I see that while we have to be a little bit frightened and scared about what's going on with the scale of these businesses, is that there's all these sort of niche opportunities opening up, and you need to have that point of difference, that massive point of difference where say, I'm not going to deal with those guys because this guy's handy, local, and he's an absolute expert, and he's got a point of difference.
Yeah,
and that's what you're talking about, yeah? Wow factor.
It is. It's the point of difference. It's a wow factor. It's something that makes you stand out from the crowd. And if you don't have it, I don't care what business or service you're in. I mean, I've mentioned on one of our other interviews the Greater Building Society giving away a free holiday with its home loan. That revolutionised their business. That took their business to a whole new level, because up until then they were just giving away a lousy 1% honeymoon rate, which was every bank was doing, and of course that was marketing on price. By the way, let me just tell you before we finish, I think we're almost out of time, but with that Greater Building Society, we ran Get a Home Loan, Get a Free Holiday for 11 years, and not once in that 11 years did they ever advertise an interest rate. Can you believe a bank, not once? So therefore all of our TV commercials, particularly when we had Seinfeld come along and be the spokesman for the business, all the TV commercials basically came on and said, if you got your home loan with a bank and they're treating you badly and they charge you fees and all this sort of stuff, have they ever given you anything for free? Because the answer's no. Next minute you see a Greater Building Society customer saying, we swapped our home loan from the dirty banks to the Building Society. Not only did they know our name, we don't get charged all those fees, but here we are in Fiji, and they're on a beautiful beach in Fiji. If you just had a fight with your bank, where do you think you're going to swap your home loan? To the one that gave you a wow factor, which was a free holiday. Oh,
of course, the mortgage market's so incredibly complex these days as well. There's no one rate. But anyway, that's subject for another interview, I reckon, John. Yep. Now, how do people get hold of you?
Mate, my business is the instituteofwow.com, and I've got a very special offer. He sounds like an infomercial here, but
here's the closer.
You know you were going to bring a salesperson on. This is like an incredibly valuable book, of course, as he holds it up and does the whole sale of the century thing. It's called How to Wow, and in here it shows you exactly what to do with regards to this wow factor stuff, right down to website designs and what you should think about when you're actually doing value adds and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to give that to you for free. John tells me he's got a wonderful database, and so therefore all you need to do is just email me personally and I'll post this book out to you for free. I think it's normally about $30, so that is john@theinstituteofwow.com. So if you send me a personal email, it's not going off to info or admin at john@theinstituteofwow.com. I'll send this out to you in the post within a week.
Fabulous. Okay, there you go. So that's another episode done of the ECentral Business Show. I'm John Naylor. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the ECentral Business Show. What we're doing on the ECentral Business Show is we're bringing you business leaders and the best of the knowledge. We want to bring them on the show and release that content so that that's something that we can share with you via this easy to consume format. So you can follow us across LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google+, or just regularly visit the ecentralcom.au/show website, pick out the best things for you and educate yourself on that premise. Now there's video content there for you, so you can just watch the video and inform yourself in your own time. We've also now podcasting that content as well, so it's really simple to consume. You can listen to it on the way to work in the car or during your daily exercise regime. Beyond that, we're also looking to connect with business experts. So if you consider yourself to be an expert in your field, please make contact so we can schedule you in and have you come on the show, so you can release your content and increase your brand across our format. Beyond that, we also invite people to send us their email address so we can send you our monthly magazine. And that's just the best of the content, the best of the videos for the month, put out once again in an email, arrives in your inbox, so you can just go through and pick out the things that are really going to educate you and advance you in your field of expertise and in business. We're a business-focused show. So thank you very much once again for watching, and we'll see you next time.